and weather working for you.
How President Clinton spent this day before the next embarrassment. From his defenders, more condemnation of Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee.
They decided that rather than just doing a document dump, they would do a garbage dump.
From a congressional Democrat, a suggestion about how the White House can move forward.
The President of the United States should go before the Judiciary Committee soon, this week, next week after, under oath, testify, and then let the Judiciary Committee make up its mind here.
I like the idea of the President coming before our committee at an appropriate time when we look at the facts and get this stuff out.
Tonight, Bill Clinton headed to the UN to deal with global threats while his own presidency is at risk.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News, reported by Ann Curry.
Good evening, everybody. In just a matter of hours now, the president's videotaped grand jury testimony will hit the airwaves and thousands of pages of documents will be released. As the nation waits, today the White House staged a preemptive strike, trying to defuse what is expected to be another embarrassing day for the president. NBC's John Palmer joins us now from the White House. John, good evening.
Good evening, Ann. The White House was in full damage control mode today, hoping to soften the blow of what the public will see and hear tomorrow. As the president and Mrs. Clinton went to church today, his top aides went on television to accuse Republicans of trying to drive the president from office by releasing salacious material and warned of a public backlash.
They decided that rather than just doing a document dump, they would do a garbage dump on Monday, and I think people are going to wonder about that.
In a statement read by Mr. Clinton during his videotaped grand jury testimony and made available to reporters, Mr. Clinton admits to inappropriate intimate contact with Monica Lewinsky, but says these encounters did not consist of sexual intercourse. They did not constitute sexual relations, as I understood the term. Mr. Clinton goes on to tell the grand jury, I regret what began as a friendship came to include this conduct, and I take full responsibility for my actions. But Mr. Clinton refused to define his conduct further.
The prosecutors knew from the get-go beforehand that he would not answer sexually detailed and graphic questions, and yet within the first 7 minutes they asked him about sexually graphic questions. He, even after he acknowledges that he had an inappropriate relationship, and they are relentless for 4.5 hours.
At church today, Mr. Clinton heard a sermon about the importance of keeping one's faith and values when they are under challenge.
This, of course, is a challenging time for him. He's a very resilient person, and I think he was genuinely repentant, and he knows that repentance is hard work.
In addition to the videotapes, the committee will release 2,800 pages of documents tomorrow. The White House is concerned that all of these documents may be even more damaging to the president. Ann?
NBC's John Palmer at the White House. Thank you, John. One of the president's Democratic allies made a bold suggestion today on how to help the president in this crisis. This as members of Congress hit the airwaves with their take on the tapes. NBC's Joe Johns now.
It's okay. It's not okay. Some Democrats and Republicans who spoke today about the videotape downplayed its likely impact on viewers.
Quite frankly, I think they're going to be somewhat bored.
So it's going to cut both ways, and it's not going to be a knockout punch.
But even before the tape hit the airwaves, a Democratic senator floated the idea of getting the president to give more testimony.
But most importantly, the President of the United States should go before the Judiciary Committee soon, this week, next week after, under oath, testify, and then let the Judiciary Committee make up its mind here.
Privately, congressional aides wondered whether the president had nothing to gain and everything to lose with such a strategy. One Republican said it would only make sense if the president agreed to lay all his cards on the table.
It would serve no purpose to have the president come forward to the Judiciary Committee and have him dictate what he's going to say, how he's going to say it.
And while the issue remains open, one leading Democrat on the committee admits that the president's grand jury testimony failed to help his case.
This is a man who knew he had done wrong and was trying very hard to avoid acknowledging it. And he did it in a way that I think didn't serve him well.
Democrats are worried about erosion of the president's support. A new poll by Newsweek shows 46% of respondents think the president should consider resigning. That's an increase of 15% in 1 month. Joe Johns, NBC News, the Capitol.
And then there is this. At the very moment the embarrassing testimony is going out over the airwaves, President Clinton will be addressing the UN at the annual gathering of world leaders. NBC's chief diplomatic correspondent Andrea Mitchell now on the president's standing as the leader of the free world.
As the president prepares to address the UN tomorrow, is the crisis at home now also hurting his ability to conduct foreign policy? He says no.
I have never stopped leading this country in foreign affairs in this entire year, and I never will.
But this news conference with Czech President Václav Havel is only the latest example of how the Lewinsky scandal has followed Bill Clinton around the world. This at a time of chaos in Russia, a humanitarian catastrophe in Kosovo, a breakdown in Middle East peace talks, major setbacks in Bosnia, and new threats from Iraq to halt all cooperation with UN inspectors.
The timing couldn't be worse. You have a host of international problems from Russia to Japan to North Korea to Iraq to Kosovo, just at the time the American president is weak and distracted.
A big concern, will adversaries such as Saddam Hussein and Yugoslav President Milosevic now try to take advantage of the U.S., even on a mistaken assumption that the president is too weak to respond?
I don't think they should make the mistake that this president will not act. Indeed, I think you could almost make the opposite argument, that the weaknesses at home might lead him to be more aggressive abroad.
Exactly what the president was accused of in August when he did act decisively against a factory in Sudan.
There are basically two risks in my judgment. One is either lack of time in focusing on current problems or a overreaction in dealing with current problems simply because of the political temptation to do something dramatic.
But the scandal's biggest damage to the president in foreign affairs may come right here at home, as a weakened president faces more and more congressional opposition to his foreign policy. Even his own supporters worry that is an explosive combination at a time of grave international danger. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Washington.
The tape of the president's grand jury testimony and 2,800 more pages of the Starr report are to be released around 9 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. NBC News will provide extensive coverage on this station and on MSNBC on cable. There will also be a special hour-long edition of NBC Nightly News tomorrow night, with Tom Brokaw reporting from Washington. Still to come on NBC Nightly News, Hurricane George turns extremely dangerous in the Caribbean. The danger of disease in southern Mexico from recent heavy flooding there. And later in focus, underwater workouts become the latest trend in exercise.
What do I want? I want to know I'm headed in the right direction. I want to keep my options open. I do want to take care of my family. I want to give something back. I want to learn, find what's right for me, be ready for anything. Make the right choices. I want to find the people who can get me there.
American Express Financial Advisors can help you decide what you want to do and how to get there.
I want to say I made a difference. I want to do more.
When I have arthritis pain, I want relief fast. I can't wait. When I rub in Aspercreme, it brings fast relief for minor arthritis pain. The relief lasts for hours, and it's odor-free.
Aspercreme, pain relief without aspirin.
Right, Seattle. I start my job on Monday. I want to do something about my retirement plan.
Okay, no problem.
Jane, Andy, please.
Sounds like your hands are pretty full there. Don't worry about this. A rollover specialist can handle all the transfer paperwork for you and make sure you avoid penalties. We can also help you with the new tax laws.
Oh, thanks. You've been a really big help.
Oh, good. Good luck with the move.
The leading edge of Hurricane George, with winds now at 135 miles an hour, lashed the small eastern islands of the Caribbean today. Now a Category 3 storm, George is expected to move on to the Virgin Islands and to Puerto Rico tomorrow. FEMA has sent early response teams already, and some airlines have canceled their flights out of Puerto Rico tomorrow. A tropical storm followed by a tropical depression caused disastrous flooding in Mexico this month in the southern state of Chiapas, one of the country's poorest regions. NBC's Gerlin Yountz reports on the recovery effort.
Almost 500,000 people are now homeless in Chiapas, in an area the size of Massachusetts. Valentin Cruz is one of them. He has lived with his family on the banks of the river Huixla for 15 years. On Saturday, Valentin returned home to find everything gone, but his TV set buried under 6 feet of mud. More villagers have begun returning to dig out their homes. Because of the threat of disease, they must also search for bodies still under the mud.
I think cholera is one of the main problems that we may face in the following days, but also malaria can be a big problem.
For 10 days, floodwaters ravaged more than 900 towns along Mexico's southern Pacific state of Chiapas, turning rivers into deadly torrents. Most of the bridges and roads have been washed away, isolating villagers in need of help. So far, the death toll is 172, but scores more are missing. Many are believed still buried under the mountains of muck and debris. This weekend, food and clean water began trickling into some towns, and the military began the long task of rebuilding. Gerlin Yountz, NBC News, Mexico City.
To a social problem in this country now, alcohol abuse among college students. There is a new nationwide push to stop it. NBC's Colleen Dominguez reports.
It's a fact of life on America's college campuses. According to estimates, 8 out of 10 college students drink, even though only 1 in 4 has reached the legal drinking age. This fall, at campuses all over the country, crackdowns are underway to discourage irresponsible drinking and to punish underage drinkers. At Southwestern University in Georgetown, Texas, state officials raided a fraternity party looking for MIPs, minors in possession of alcohol.
Undercover people went in and, busted it, and that's not, we weren't told that there was going to be undercover sting operations, so.
49 students were given citations. The fraternity's president was taken to jail, charged with providing the drinks.
No matter what people do, people are going to drink in college, and that's just the way it is.
I'm aware of that struggle, and we're all aware of it, but still Texas law is that you can't do it until you're 21.
At Boston's MIT, Phi Gamma Delta fraternity was charged with manslaughter in the drinking death of a pledgee last year, 18-year-old Scott Kruger. This year, the school has new rules on who can serve alcohol and where, and the Interfraternity Council is helping to spread the word.
Underage drinking and alcohol abuse is a societal problem for the 18 to 22-year-old range, no matter where you are, MIT or elsewhere.
At Penn State this weekend, a first. Fraternities and sororities now in the midst of their membership drives are not serving alcohol at recruiting events.
It doesn't have to revolve around alcohol in order for it to be successful. So we're thrilled, and we think that it's a big plus for the community.
Across the country, school administrators are following the recommendations of experts, which include establishing a zero-tolerance policy for alcohol-related violence, regulating the conditions under which alcohol can be used on campus, and being firm and consistent in enforcing the minimum age drinking law. It's also believed that increasing awareness of the problem of teenage alcohol abuse will lead to greater efforts towards solving it. Colleen Dominguez, NBC News, Pasadena, California.
When NBC Nightly News continues getting the gain from exercise with a little less pain.
Are rich people taller than the rest of us? Are their loved ones more deserving of an airbag? Was the sun created solely for their enjoyment? Are we the only car company that doesn't think so? Century by Buick, full of amenities for under $20,000, loaded for under $24,000. Century by Buick, a luxury car for everyone.
We all know that furniture polish smears glass. And glass cleaner leaves wood looking dry, so it can often be very frustrating cleaning combination furniture. Now there's a way to end that stress. New Pledge Wood and Glass, made from a balanced cleaning formula with natural citrus extracts. It brings out your wood's inner beauty and leaves your glass sparkling. Pledge Wood and Glass, a clean combination. S.C. Johnson Wax.
Mom, I'm nervous.
Texas.
Austin?
You're gonna do great. Kansas.
Topeka.
Hawaii.
Honolulu. Atlanta. Sacramento.
You are good.
Keep them coming, Mom.
Now a study confirms what you've always known. A smart breakfast like this with whole grain oat Cheerios helps kids do better in school.
Mom, give me a tough one.
Vermont.
Montpelier.
The one and only Cheerios.
She can help you with the tough ones.
Mom.
It's time for a change. Because this isn't a cold. It's a siege. Last night, single nostril breathing. First the left was clogged, then the right. Why does it switch? So I tried these, but I was still up coughing. Finally, I got some sleep at my desk. I'm trying NyQuil.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest and have a good morning medicine.
You're my new best friend.
Just kidding.
On NBC, President Clinton, in his own words under oath, what's really on the tape. Special in-depth coverage on the programs of NBC News on NBC.
In focus this evening, the upside of working out underwater. Here's NBC's Rahima Ellis.
5, 6, 7, and 1.
Sun City, Arizona, where for years senior citizens have done these synchronized water exercises at a foxtrot pace.
Working your inner and outer thighs.
At this YMCA in Chicago, the growing new up-tempo world of water exercise and conditioning. One of more than 25,000 such classes offered nationwide.
Water aerobics is kind of a bad rap for being like a senior sport or old people do it. Yeah! But I think that the trend is going more towards younger people because they're realizing that you can get a really great workout in the water.
This is my first exercise class of any sort in 10 years. I selected it because I didn't want to get hot and sweaty. I didn't want to have pain and agony.
An exercise revolution is happening underwater, largely because aging baby boomers who sparked the fitness boom are sore from their usual workouts.
We have been hurting our knees and our lower backs for years in high-impact aerobics classes and walking and running, and I think a lot of people are moving towards a pool setting to get the same kind of workout that's easier on their joints and easier on their body.
This is making me be able to simulate running without actually pounding my body into the ground every single day.
There's also new water fitness technology now. Underwater treadmills, floating noodles, aqua dumbbells, water weights, and sneakers.
Knees together, extend. Imagine you're actually going over a hurdle on land.
And new speed training techniques, like deep water running, which simulates running uphill.
All right, folks, extend into power walking now. Large sweeping motions.
Water offers 12 times the muscle resistance of the same movements on land. That fact of physics, combined with a new philosophy of rapid exercises, is bringing dramatic results in both fitness and weight loss.
Before, people thought of going in the water and doing it slowly. And they were right. Slowly, no caloric burn. Rapidly, huge burn.
Strenuous aquatic exercise burns 400 to 500 calories an hour.
Let me see your abs.
As much as or more than a traditional gym workout.
I've lost about 12 pounds, but more than that, I've just really toned up. Even my husband has noticed. To get a remark out of him is unbelievable.
An endorsement for the newest wave of exercise. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, New York.
When NBC Nightly News continues, Mark McGwire does it again. How do big hitters do what they do?
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling with your wife. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
We were on vacation in New Orleans, great city, but every night I got this awful heartburn. A woman in our tour group said, "Here, try Zantac 75. "Oh, thank you," I said. "You're a saint." She said, "No, actually, I'm a doctor."
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
Maybe a doctor and a saint.
Zantac 75, the final word in heartburn relief.
you see a business deal. At Sprint, we see data. Data that lays the groundwork, that allows people to collaborate. It's the sharing of information that helps build business. And with Sprint Ion, our integrated on-demand network, we'll soon be linked together with even greater ease, flexibility, and power. Because business runs on data, and data runs on Sprint.
The Gulf War, Tiananmen Square, the Berlin Wall. Former President George Bush talks to Matt Lauer about events from his time in office and the current state of the nation. This week on Today.
It's here. Oak Factory Outlet's annual floor sample sale. Every piece of furniture has been slashed for this sale. Fantastic savings on first quality, discontinued, and one-of-a-kind items. Big savings on scratch and dent pieces, but hurry, quantities are limited. Oak Factory Outlet, Nashville, Madison, and Murfreesboro.
All 98s must go during Beeman Lincoln Mercury's Red Hot Clear the Lot Super Sale. Save $10,000 on new 98 Lincolns. Pay $24,188 on new 98 Mountaineers. Choose from Tennessee's best selection of new Grand Marquis at Beeman Lincoln Mercury in Nashville.
Demetria Kalodimos, working for you on Channel 4.
Next to last weekend of baseball's regular season, Mark McGwire did it again. In the Cardinals game at Milwaukee today, the St. Louis Slugger saw his 65th home run of the season. No major leaguer has ever hit more in a single season. And McGwire still has 6 games left to play. 90 miles away at Wrigley Field, Chicago fans celebrated the heroics of their home run king, Slammin' Sammy Sosa, who has 63 home runs this year, the second highest total ever hit. McGwire and Sosa Slugfest highlights one of the most difficult feats in all of sports. NBC's Jim Avila tonight on the science of SWAT.
The home run, a nearly mythical athletic feat, so difficult even the best ball players can only average one every 7 times at bat.
Hitting around object with a round object, traveling at 90 plus miles an hour and changing directions, that's a pretty tough thing to do.
So difficult, so enchanting to watch, fans even line up when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire are just practicing. Baseball expert Peter Gammons says it's unique in sports.
You don't go watch football teams warm up. You don't watch basketball teams go on layup lines, but you do have 35,000 people in the ballpark watching Mark McGwire take batting practice.
Porter Johnson loves baseball. He's a nuclear physicist at the Illinois Institute of Technology. But right now, he's writing a paper on the physics of a home run swing.
The bat has to be in the right place at the right time with the right speed, and all this has to be anticipated ahead of time.
Now the tricky part. Tests show that baseball is moving so fast, hitters can only track it from the pitcher's hand halfway to home plate. The remaining 30 feet is pure guesswork. Adding to the difficulty, the pitcher throws the ball at 90 miles per hour on a 10% downward trajectory, dropping 4 feet to the batter's box. The hitter swings the bat at an upward trajectory of 25%, hitting the ball just below center, creating backspin, and sending it up on a 35% rise toward the fences.
The bat is going 100 miles an hour or more also, and the force is thousands of pounds.
So much torque that the 3-inch ball is squeezed to half its size, literally jumping off the bat.
His principal advantage is his quick reflexes and his good wrist action, and the strength is sort of extra.
Chicago Cubs Hall of Fame third baseman Ron Santo hit 342 home runs during his career.
It's the speed of the bat that determines where that ball goes.
And today's home run kings, Sosa and McGwire, swing it faster and connect more often than anyone in history. Jim Avila, NBC News, Chicago.
From the boys of summer to the man on the spot. When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, the Clinton presidency and tomorrow's installment of the Star Report.
Parenting is a constant learning process. What you have to do is prioritize.
Back in '88, Earl wanted to retire, spend more time with Tiger.
My dad taught me.
I met an American Express financial advisor. Dave is a personal friend of mine to this day. We trust each other because we got a track record.
It's about making smarter decisions.
We're a team, and that's when dreams can happen.
American Express Financial Advisors.
Man, this gray hair makes me look old.
Then do what I did. Get rid of it.
You were gray? I never knew that.
No one can tell you use the remarkable hair coloring called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique Just for Men formula blends away the gray, actually matches your gray to your real color.
Even I can't tell what used to be gray. Thanks.
Just for Men. Looks so natural, even friends can't tell.
Savor the summer. Live Maine lobster, specially priced at $14.99. At Red Lobster, the season isn't over.
Did you know mosquitoes are attracted to moisture, body heat, and movement? Did you know you can catch poison ivy if unwashed clothing is worn a year after contact? And did you know Cortisone 10 penetrates skin to stop the itch and help heal poison ivy and insect bites? Among these, it's the only one with the medicine doctors recommend most to stop itching and help heal. So this summer when you itch, remember the power of 10. Cortisone 10. Powerful itch relief for the power to heal.
Dateline Sunday. They may be dummies, but they wear their seatbelts and help save lives. But are these dummies filled with computer chips really enough?
We're not protecting dummies. We're protecting people.
Should safety studies be done on real people in the driver's seat?
Dummies can never replace the real-world crash experience.
Lee Thompson with the Dateline Consumer Alert, Sunday, 7, 6 Central.
There's only one place to see the most compelling news magazine on cable from the people of NBC News. But you can't see it if you don't get it. MSNBC.
On this day before the public release of more damaging documents and the tapes of his grand jury testimony, President Clinton made public appearances at brunch, at church, but no public statements. Tomorrow, words he spoke in the White House mat room a month ago will command America's attention. Here's NBC's Stan Bernard.
The big question is, will Bill Clinton's presidency be weakened further by the release and broadcast tomorrow morning of his 4-hour grand jury appearance? One media expert says it may reinforce more opinions than it changes.
Bill Clinton's supporters are going to find reasons to support Bill Clinton. Ken Starr's supporters are going to find reason to support Ken Starr. And after all of this is over, I wonder if very much will be changed.
Two conflicting presidential statements are at the heart of this White House crisis.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate.
Tape of the grand jury testimony, which came between those two moments, will be released to all the networks tomorrow. A consultant on the jury selection process reminds us that the president was in a hostile environment, a situation he could not control.
It is not meant to be a friendly chit-chat between the lawyer and the victim, if you will, in this case, President Clinton. This is meant to be antagonistic. It's meant to be obviously degrading. And again, it's going to be a very one-sided picture.
The testimony will also be on the Internet, which will be publishing that along with thousands of pages of other documents, some with graphic descriptions and details. Larry Sabato calls tomorrow's events a classic case of unavoidable information overload.
I don't see how the news media could avoid doing it. This is public information. It is important information. It's a president giving testimony to a federal grand jury about really the survival of his own presidency.
How the public responds to the tapes could be a deciding factor for the president. Stan Bernard, NBC News, New York.
And again, special NBC News coverage of the release of the president's testimony begins tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern on NBC and MSNBC. That's NBC Nightly News for this Sunday. Here's Jane Pauley with a look at what's ahead tonight on Dateline NBC.
Thanks, Ann. Coming up tonight on Dateline Sunday, he was riding the crest of the New Age wave. A spiritual leader with business savvy, building a fortune, but some say also building a cult.
I was under direct mind control, where my critical thinking was out the window.
Are you a cult? No, I'm Rama. I'm a person. I'm Frederick Lenz.
The first time we brought you this story, Dateline won an Emmy. Tonight, the latest twist, starting at 7, 6 Central on Dateline Sunday. Ann?
Thanks, Jane. Tom Brokaw reports from Washington tomorrow in a special 1-hour edition of NBC Nightly News. I'm Ann Curry. I'll see you tomorrow morning on Today. Thank you for watching. The Sunday edition of Dateline NBC is next.